Right? When you create a user account, the user add command, it modifies slash etc slash password file slash etc slash shadow slash etc slash group g shadow, these files with new user information and group information. It modifies. At the same time, it creates one user home directory under slash home directory with same username. So once it created, some files will be copied from SQL directory to user home directory. Permissions will be applied, and ownership and group ownership will be updated. Okay. So then one mail spool will be created under slash var slash pool slash mail. So we have direct, right? See, during this process, automatically one UID and GID is allocated for user account and group account. Along with user account, one group account will be created. The group account acts like a primary group for that user. Here we have a UIDs and GIDs 0 to 60,000 and 0 to 60,000 GIDs. So these UIDs again, some IDs are reserved for system user account 0 to 999 in RHEL 7 and 0 to 499 in RHEL 6. That means in CentOS 6 and 7. GID is also same. Right? From 1000 onwards, 60,000 UIDs are available and GIDs are available. When you create, one GID and UID will be selected from that range. Okay. See, there are two configuration files while installing. Based on these configuration files, default shell environment will be allocated. User home directory will be created under slash home, and mail spool will be created, and minimum password length, password age settings, and UIDs and GIDs selection will be updated. So we have a slash etc slash default user add and slash etc slash login dot deps. Right? So once you created user account, password file will be updated with user information. Right? It modifies, right? Password. It contains username, password field, UID, GID, and comments, user home dir, then login shell name. Okay, and shadow file. See, it contains password information. So here encrypted password will be stored in the second field. Okay, so and the next field is since January 1970, last password modified account. That information, that count it shows in the third field. In the fourth field, minimum number of days between password change, maximum number of days between password change, next field. So the value like 0, right? And password warning age. Before going to expire password, user will get warning messages since 7 days, right? Like, and when you create a user account with expiry date, that information will be updated in the next field. And in the next field, when you create inactive days, user account inactive days, those days will be updated to here. And shadow group file, it contains group information, group name. What is the second field? Group password, that means gname, group name. Then GID, group members, group members information. It contains slash etc slash g password. It contains group name, group password, group password, and this one is admin, group admin name information, group members information, right? So default permissions on user home directory 700. So it means read, write, execute, access for user, no access for group, no access for others. Okay, right? Some scale files will be copied, right? What are those files? Bash underscore profile, bash or C, bash underscore logout. These files will be copied from scale directory to user home directory. These files are default shell environment. Okay, user environmental files. Right. See, when you run, automatically these settings will be updated. So as per requirement, we can create user account. Okay, as per requirement, we can modify existing user accounts and group accounts also. Right. So for that, we have various options. If you want to create a user with different directory as a home directory instead of using /home as a home directory, okay, we can. So we have option -d. If you want to create a user with different shell as a default login shell, use -s shell name, username, then -u create user with specific UID. We can create a user with specific UID instead of selecting one random number from UID range, right? -g change user primary group. User primary group. Say -g existing group name we have to specify. Then user account will be created, and whatever the group name you specified after small g, that group acts as a primary group for user. Then it won't create any new group with username. Next, -G to add user into multiple groups at the time of creation. So at the time of creation, if you want to add user into multiple groups, user add -G user, group names, group 1, group 2, group 3 names, then username. Next, -E user account expiry, password expiry. If you want to create a user with account expiry, -E, then date, calendar date we have to specify, and here days, password expiry. If you want to create a user with password expiry, use F, specify the days. Then -R if you want to create a system user account. Okay, when you create a system user account, UID and GID will be selected less than 1000, -O to create users, duplicate with duplicate UID, existing UID. So these are all the options we have. -C also we have, right? Comments. We can add user additional information like full name or designation or any other additional stuff about user. So these are all the options. Comes with user add command. Like we have a user mode, right? Using user mode, we can modify user account. Same options. If you want to change existing user home directory, we can change by using -D. If you want to change existing user shell, -S. Like we can use the options, we can modify existing user settings, right? So in user mode, we have another options like capital L, capital U. What is capital L, capital U? To lock user account, to unlock user account, capital U, right? And so we have a L option. What is L option? To change or to rename name, username. Okay, to change login name, right? Group add, using group add and group mode. we can modify user group accounts. Okay, so here we have -G option. Using -G, we can create a group with specific GID, right? Got it? See, if you want to change group name to if you want to modify, use -N. Group mode space -N, new name, existing name, right? To create password for user accounts, password for user accounts, not group accounts. For group accounts, G password. Okay, using password command, we can set or reset password for user accounts. Using G password, we can set and reset for group accounts. So in password, we have an options -L, -U, and -D. To lock password, -L. To unlock password, -U, -D. To delete password. Once you lock password, if someone is trying to log in as username and password, okay, it shows login incorrect because account in lock state, password in lock state. G password also we have. So using G password, we can set password and reset password for group. Along with that, we can add users into supplementary groups, one user. We can add multiple users into one group with -M option. We can add user as admin for one group using -A. We can remove user from existing group, right? We can remove user from existing groups. User del and group del. Using group del command, user del command, we can delete user accounts. Here we have an option -R and F, right? Recursively and forcefully to remove. Okay. So user del, username, only user information will be removed. Okay. Along with user home directory, if you want to delete, use -RF. Group del for to delete groups. For to delete group accounts. Like now we have a change command. Using change, we can see the password, user age settings. User age settings, that means like password and user account age. Okay, so we have -L option. We can see user information, password age setting, change space -L username, which was account last password changed. User account last password changed in the first field. Correct or not? What it shows? Last password change, right? Okay, and password expires, password inactive, account expires, minimum number of days between password change, maximum number of days between password change, number of days of warning before password expires. These settings. Okay, using change also we can modify user age, account expiry date. What is that option? -capital E, capital I, capital E for account expiry, to set or reset, to remove account expiry date, -capital E, capital I inactive, account inactive days. If you want to set, we can set. If you want to remove, we can remove. So for that we have to use -1 option, right? If you want to delete account expiry, that means set to never expire. So for that, capital E -1, capital I -1, to remove or to set to account expiry to never, to set inactive to never, this one. Okay, and minimum number of days between password change, small m, maximum number of days between password change, capital M, right? We can use. And we have another option D. So what is D? Enforce, to enforce user to change his password upon first login or next login. First login or next login. -D. days we have to specify. 0. If you specified 0, change -d 0 username, what will happen? Yes, when user trying to log in as the same user account, it will enforce to user to change his password upon the login. So this is what we discussed in user and group administration, right? See, to see the group information, that means group members. We have a group mems command, right? -g group name, then -l to see the group members information. So we have a groups command. What is groups? It shows user belongs to how many groups. User belongs to how many groups. Groups username. We can see that information. User into how many groups and group members information using group mems command. Right? Fine. So we have a conf-gen command. Yes, conf-gen using -c. When you run conf-gen -c, it shows all commands, and using conf-gen -u, it shows all user accounts. Conf-gen -u. Yeah, number of, not login users, the users accounts available. User account, you can redirect this result to wc-l 37 user accounts with command we can't, right? See, conf-gen -u user accounts are available. Okay, conf-gen -u, right? Conf-gen -g, it shows group accounts. It shows group accounts, all group accounts. So if you want to see how many users are available, the user account information, we have to read password file. Instead of reading password file, when you execute conf-gen -u, it shows only user account names. When you run conf-gen -g, it shows only group account names. Right? Okay. So next, so we have an id command. Id. Using id command, we can see user, effective user id and related group IDs information. That means the user belongs to how many groups? Some groups, right? So if you want to see group names as well as IDs, GIDs and user ID, ID username. Example, ID space username, user effective user ID and GIDs. Test user, see, test user UID 1001 and GID 1001, and user belongs to blue group also, right? Test is a primary and this one is supplementary group, right? We can see. So without specifying username, when you run currently logged on user information, currently logged on user, current session login user information. So UID and GIDs user belongs to that information. Yep.
There are packages that first they install only without they install only command means vulnerability they have. Then if there is a new package, if you install a package, we can convert it to users.
Yes, we can. We have a XORG in first class we discussed, right? So we have a X11 packages and XORG. If even the operating system installed without these packages, after installation, is there any requirement to switch operating system from UI to GUI? We can. Once you install this, we have a service X. We have to start X command. service will be started.
Then we can create user and we can use package.
Which packages? Yeah, yeah, we can.
We can use
But this is not that much flexible. It's very simple. Using user add command, we can create user accounts. Yeah, we can. Yes. Right. ID. And next we have another command like, right? So, and finger command, we have finger, using finger command. Currently logged on usernames it shows, but the command is not working. So if you want to use that, install. We'll see what is m install later. Just understand. Finger. Okay. If you want to see user activity, so we have a who commands, right? Currently logged on user information it shows and what they are doing. Okay, so like we have a last and last b commands. Last b, last login, last command. It shows user information, successful login information. That means list last logged in users. Means list last logged in users. Last command. Last logged in user information means all successful logins. All successful login information. Man. Okay, we'll see that later. Let's understand last command. So when you run last command, it shows last logged in users, every user information. So user accounts, what is first field? Username and terminal. User connected on which terminal? User connected from which host? User connected from which host? And the date and login date and time and session time. Session time. So system reboot time, boot time, we can see that information. Okay, so every user information. If you want to see a specific user login information, last username, last space username, to see a specific user login information activity. So if you want to see last reboot, last space reboot, last system reboot date and time. If you want to see last reboot, it shows that information. Last shutdown. Okay, so, we have an option -d. So when you run last space -d option, it displays non-local user logins. Non-local user logins. sorry, non-local user, non-local logins, non-local logins, not users, non-local logins. Non-local in the sense remote. Only it shows from remote host. So whenever user trying to connect from remotely to this machine, so if you want to see that only that information, last space -d. Sorry. You specify username, it shows only that information. Hyphen capital F. Hyphen capital F. Print full login and logout times and dates. Print full login and logout times and dates. -t. Then date and time format like year, month, day, hours, minutes, and seconds. Date and time. See, use that syntax. Last space -t, year, month, date, hours, minutes, seconds. It shows information as per specified time. It shows logins information as per specified time. If you want to see user activity on particular date, okay, just specify date and time. Okay, -a, last space -a. Display the house name in the last column. Display the house name in the last column. We have a host name field, right? Username, terminal, and in the third field it shows host name, user connected from which host. So if you want to print that host name field last, use -a. It prints that host name field at last. Same, this one, host name field. If not specified, it prints here in the third column. Same thing here, right? Next, -x, last space -x. Display the system shutdown entries and run level changes. Shutdown entries and run level changes. Okay, see, reboot, run level information also, and power on the machine. User started at operating system started at which run level 3 or run level 5. That information also it shows. Reboot information, run levels, users. So next, note down -n, last space -n number. It shows the output as per specified number. That means that many lines it shows in the output. So if you specified last space -n 10, it shows only 10 entries. 10 entries recently. So this is last command. See, when you run last command, so we have a WTMP file. WTMP file. This is a log file. All successful login information it contains. The file is under /var/log directory. /var/log directory. WTMP. All successful login information it contains. We can't read directly this file. So when you run last command, it collects that information from this file. WTMP. Right. Last B. Last B command. List last bad logged in users. Last bad logged in. Bad logged in users. That means sometimes we can type wrong password, so authentication will be failed, right? So that information, and if someone is trying to access our server from remotely, okay, those login information, all bad login attempts will be stored under BTMP file and /var/log. To see that information, run last B. No, not just last B. That's it. Just run last B. Bad logins. Bad login attempts. That means unsuccessful logins. Yes, user. Yes, the same options we can use here. So whatever the options we discussed in last command, same options. So if you want to see a specific user activity, example test. Yesterday we tried to log in, right? So I entered a wrong password 3 times. So that information here it shows, right? BTMP. It reads BTMP file, which is under /var/log. The file contains all unsuccessful login information. So first field is username, second field is terminal, user connected on which terminal, and the third field is host name, user connected from, or user tried to connected. Okay, that information. This is date and time, right? Yes, in this successful logins will be here. Okay, if something went wrong, if your server compromised, okay, see, if you want to track all the user activity, use these commands for user audit, right? Last and last B, and we have a last login command also. Last login, sorry, last log, not last login, last log. So when you run last log, it shows user last login information. So whatever the user accounts are available in your machine, it shows all user accounts information. User last login information. See, we have a different user accounts. New user, logged on date, test user, logged on date. These user accounts are not, that means never logged in still. When you log in as test2, last login information it shows here. Okay, so if you want to see that root last logged in information today, right? It shows. Yeah, root name. See, when you run last log, it prints some lines, right? All user accounts. The same result now redirected to grep. From that result, okay, see, printed only the user, information like root. Yeah. So filtering, yes, filter. I want to see a specific user activity. So for that,
only last login, and if you enter root, what we get?
so we have options here. -u. It shows -u. Last log space -u username. It shows last login information.
Not existing user ID account.
Yeah, existing user accounts we have to specify. Okay, so next note down history command. History. History command is used to check history of last executed commands by user. History of last executed commands by user. Right? Last transactions, user executed commands. Okay, so when you log in as root, when you execute some commands, okay, to see the information, to installations, to manage some services, that information will be logged into .bash_history file. So there is a history config file. So pardon? Yes, it shows. Okay, so there is a count also, limit count. Only that many information lines will be stored into the history. So if you want to store 1000 lines, 2000 lines, we have to customize that parameters. Okay, so only up to 250 or 100, some limitation is there by default. Okay, see the previously executed last transactions will be overwritten with the new ones. Okay.
Sir, last file take file this time what
So I didn't get you. Last file.
Use this last for only
Yeah, we can. See here, yeah. Okay, just listen. See here we have our options. Okay. See history. So just note down first one. Syntax. List all executed commands. Run history. See, by default it shows only line numbers and the last transaction commands information. So if you want to see date and time information, so when the command was executed, yes, we can clear, right? So for that we have to export some variable. By default it won't show last transaction command, history, date and time. So if you want to see, we have to export some variable like date time format. So for that, just run export space hist time format. Export hist time format equals to, and single quotes we have to specify capital F space 3. Yeah. Yeah, single quotes. Percentile. Yeah. Percentile capital F, percentile T. the date, T for time format. So exported variable. Okay, so what is variable, system variable, all these things we will see in shell scripting class. Okay, now run history command. What it shows, see, just we exported a system variable, okay, to shell. Now when you run history command, it shows last transaction, history names. Which one? Yeah, we have a file like dot bash underscore history. Dot bash underscore history. Okay, user lost transactions, that means lost executed commands history will be stored under this file. See, if you want to read, you can read dot bash underscore history. Last transaction, right? User add all commands, whatever the commands we executed previously. Right? See, when you export the variable from shell prompt, but this is not permanent. To make it permanent, the variable, so we have to add this information into dot bash underscore profile or dot bash rc file. User environmental files. So we have to define a specific environment. When you log in as user, if you want to see all previously executed commands history along with date and time, history command by default it won't print any date and time. So for that, so we have to export some variable, system variable, hist time format. Okay, from shell prompt we can export hist time format, but we have a file, user environment file, bim dot bash rc. So into this we have to specify, or you can use bash prof underscore profile file. Here, go to last line, just specify that. Shift G. Here we have to specify export hist time format equals to that's it. Okay, so when you specify like this, the history command date and time will be printed when you log in as root only. So if you want to see for all user accounts, we have to specify this information into global files. We have a /etc/ profile file, global environment. Once you define this variable into that, the same environment will be loaded during that login, right? So then when user executed history command, so along with last executed history of commands, it shows date and time. Right? Fine. So next, note down, clear or delete all history commands. Clear all, delete. Clear all, delete all history commands. History -c. History space -c. This -c is clear. So we'll execute later. And next, note down, recall previously used command or executed command. Previously executed command.
One command.
Yeah, specific command. Recall previously used or executed command. See, for that we have a bank symbol and then number, the line number, bank, exclamatory. Right? See, when you run history, it shows number of lines, right? So if you want to repeat this last command or this one, like any other, this one, just use this number to recall. Bank the number. See, one. What is that number? 15145. Same thing, right? Last reboot. Here recalled last reboot. Instead of typing just the command last space reboot, just use number. Okay. Bank. Okay. So bank. So when you use double bank, last, recently, the last executed command to recall. That means previously. Right? Last -5 or 10 or 15. When you run this, last fifth one, I mean previously executed. Last fifth command, recently executed. Minus, bottom to top. Two means yes, last, recently executed, recently. No. We have to use like this. Just we can specify. If you specified 5, what it means? The fifth transaction. So from the history, so top to bottom, fifth transaction. So when you use -5, bottom to top, last fifth one. Okay. So next, history 5. It shows last 5 executed commands history. Last 5 executed commands history. History 5. Okay. So history 10. Last 10 executed commands history. Okay. So if you want to see previously executed commands, we have a up and down arrow keys, right? We can use up arrow and down arrow. We can search for. Okay. Like also, if you want to run the previously executed command, you can use up arrow and down arrows, or control P also. We can search for that, right? Right. So here specifying the number, we can recall last executed command. So instead of that, we can also recall by name, the command name or a service name or a program name. So bank, for example, service related command serve. We can, or last LAS. What it means? Is there any command executed? Yes. Last 5. Right? Pardon? No need to specify a number. Here, recalling the service command or any commands by using names, not from numbers. See? So we execute the command date, then W, who, uptime. Like we have a copy command, you specified some syntax, I mean like -or v, some source path and destination path. So you want to synchronize or you want to copy files from source to destination, you want to use the same syntax. Again, we have to type, right? Instead of typing, just we can recall cp. Last executed cp syntax will be executed. So if you executed 3 or 4 times, recently executed cp syntax will be executed. Okay, like uptime, who, date, any other commands. There is a big syntax. Instead of typing, we can recall that by using its name or a number, history number. Just use wh. What it prints? Who. Just use uptime. Uptime command will be recall. Like any other commands we can recall by its name. So next, note down, to control the total number of lines in the history. To control the total number of lines in the history. Okay. Add hist size. Add hist size into dot bash underscore profile file. Okay, see, edit this dot bash underscore profile file. Just specify hist size equals to 1000. If you specify it, only 1000 lines will be stored. If you specify 2000 lines. And there is another parameter also, variable, hist file size. We can specify the file size also, 10,000 or 2000 file size. Now this is size in bytes. This is number of lines, right? Just specify this. So if you want to use the same history for all, if you want to limit the history size, add these lines into /etc/profile, global profile file. Same test settings will be loaded for every user account, right? So this is history command. So how to recall previously executed. See, now execute history-c to clear all previously executed commands history. Executed history-c. Now run history command. What it shows? Yeah, previously executed. Only history, right? Recently. Only that command information it shows now. When you run date, now run history. What it shows? Last 3. Along with history command, history we executed. After that, we executed date. Again, we executed history. Yes, 3. Right?
There will be no 0.
No. So if you want to see that, like if you want to clear, -c. Okay. So don't do these kind of things in real time. Okay. Okay. When you run this, they can't identify. So whatever the commands you executed previously. See, if something went wrong at server, we can easily track with the help of history, last transaction command. So when you see that last transaction commands, so user executed, so what kind of commands, and he copied some, if he's trying to copy files from source to some destination, okay, so that path, everything in the syntax, right, we can able to see, so we can easily revert, okay, right. So this is history command. Now we'll see file permissions. File permissions. So have any questions? Is that we discussed file command? File? No? See, using file command, so we can see the file type. I mean, whether the file is a empty file or directory or binary file. Like, so just specify a file name, file space file name. If you specify, it shows as a text, right? File. So when you specify commands, see, already we discussed, we can find out any command's binary location. If you know the command name, we can find out binary location. Basically, all binary files are under bin and sbin directory, or us or sbin, us or bin, us or bin, or us or sbin, right? See, if you want to see user add command binary location, so what is the command? Which user add, it shows, right? Now specify that file slash us or sbin user add. What it shows? User add shared object version, something it shows, right? And like ls bin slash ls. What it shows? Same thing, executable, right? 64-bit, like any file type we can see using file command. So we have a stat also. I think already we discussed in touch command. Look at stat. We can see the files or file system statistics. File or file system statistics. So stat file name. If you specify it, it shows file size, number of blocks allocated to that, IO blocks information, file type. See, it shows file type, regular information, file. So inodes, links, permissions, access modes, and UIDs, GID, context. Sorry. And this is access time, modified time, and change time. Access time, modified time, and change time. Right. See, we have a command like watch. So note down watch. Using watch, we can execute a command and view its output at regular intervals. Watch
3 and every 3 seconds print out.
Free command, right? So watch. See here, So using watch, we can execute a specific command at regular intervals. So we have an option S-S in free command. So we can see memory statistics at regular intervals. Free space -S, the number 4. If you specified what it means, every 4 seconds. Okay. See the information about memory, the physical memory usage and swap memory usage we can able to see. Like if you want to see any commands information at regular intervals, okay, use watch command. Watch. See we have a du and some other commands, free command also. Free space -H. By default, it shows the result will be updated every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds. Okay. So every 2 seconds, watch command will execute free -H by default. By default, 2 seconds. To come out from this, use Control C. Now here we have to specify -N. Okay, 4. See modified every 4 seconds. Okay, note down this -N option. -N. Repeat every n seconds. Repeat every n seconds. Watch space -N. Okay. Seconds in seconds. Then command name. Got it? Like we can watch. So we have a df also. Using df command, we can see the disk file system. So we'll see once again the command in disk management. Your disk usage. So partitions.
DF is disk usage.
Yeah, disk file system. The file system usage we can see. Yeah, same. The command name, that's it. Syntax is like this. After this, you can specify any commands. The same commands will be executed at regular intervals. The seconds you specify. Right? So we installed finger command, right? Finger. So note down finger. Finger to display currently logged in usernames. User's name. User's name. Logged in. Yes. So when you run W, who? It shows name. It shows name. Okay. So we have commands. Okay. And say if you want to know more about finger, finger. User information lookup programs. User information lookup programs. There are different tools, okay, and different options here. Use these options. We can see the information. Not .bash or C. The commands available at in bin directory binaries. Shell will provide to run these commands. That's it. Okay. Alright. Yeah, we have to install. Command deprecated. So if you want to use, we have to install package finger. That's why I use a command like yum install the package name. Okay. So we have a command yum to install packages. See, we can see the current date and time. Okay, try yourself. So how to set date and time with date? Okay, so we have a manual page, right? Date, man date. So print or set the system date and time. So you have different options, -d, -f, something, and the formats, date and time formats are like this. We have different formats, -a, capital A. There is some specific meaning. Okay, so we use it in hist size. I mean, percentile capital F, percentile T, see, which is equals to full date. The form same as percentile Y means year, percentile. See, you can. So instead of this, we can specify dots. Then date will be printed year dot month dot date. If you specify hyphen, year hyphen month hyphen date hyphen. Output format we can specify. Right. So for that, use this and see hyphen T, right? Hours, minutes, seconds. But it's like use this history, I mean manual page, set date and time. So we have a time date CTL command. We can see that existing time and we can manage. I mean, we can set new date and time. We can modify time zone also. We can modify time zone, time date CTL. Okay, try yourself. So what is universal time? What is RTC time? Okay, you people need to tell me. Okay, so just do R&D. So how to set date and time with these two commands. Join, we'll see that. So man, time date CTL. Control the system time and date. CTL, control time date CTL. The command works in 7 environment, not in 6. Only command will work in RHEL 7. Okay, so here also we have different formats to see the status. Okay, to set, see, time date CTL space status or time date CTL. It shows current settings of the system clock on RTC. So if you want to set new time, set hyphen time, time date CTL space, set hyphen time, time. If you want to set the time zone, set hyphen time zone, list time zones. So whatever the time zones are available, if you want to see the time zones, time date CTL, list hyphen time zones. Okay, and set hyphen local hyphen RTC, local time. If you want to set, if you want to modify hardware clock. So what is NTP? I'll tell you in servers class. We have a network time protocol. Okay, we can synchronize time. So okay, so there are global time zone servers, NTP servers. Okay, we can follow the time zone. If you want to follow the same time zone for all servers, whatever the servers running at your environment, we can synchronize. Or else we can configure one mission as a NTP server. We can synchronize the date and time at client end with the same. Okay, so how to do that? We will see in the servers. Just use this time date CTL and date command. How to set and modify the date and time. See.
Modify date and time, it won't affect the previous file.
No, it won't take effect.
They are also updated or
Oh, so is there any task you specified? I mean, at regular intervals to execute. We have a job control commands like at, cron, anocron, and batch. Okay, so we can automate some tasks at specified time. So when you modify it, time will be modified, task will be executed. So either early or okay, it takes, I mean, 1 hour or delay with delay.
In dot dash,
At regular,
in dot dash RT, we can join 2 to 3 commands.
You can add in a number of alias names into that. See, it contains only the environment, system defined variables and some paths and some scripts, not commands information.
We can add, really we can add.
Yeah, we can add.
So give him an alias.
Yeah, we can add n number of commands, n number of alias names, line by line.
For one alias name, we can add number of commands.
No, yeah, we can. So when you run, the same thing will be executed. But here you have to specify commands separated by commas. But it takes as a one single command. If you specify like this, you will get a unsuccessful result. So we have to use only for one command for alias name, command name and its syntax, the default syntax. Yeah. Man, time, date, CTL. See, it contains how to set date and time zone. Okay, using time, date, CTL. Have a date command. So very important date command. The people need to remember all the date and time formats. See, while taking backups, so instead of taking backups manually, see, if you want to automate the tasks, okay, see, there are different types of backups we have, like incremental backups, differential backups, okay, so every day, weekly or monthly backups. So when you save with the same name, the file, it overwrites. So for that, so based on date and time, file name will be created when you specify a date and time format in the output file. So for output file, we have to specify date and time format using this %L of something, %LT. Okay. So whatever the name you specified, along with that name, automatically date and time will be added. See, these are all. No, we can use this format in date command only, not time date CTL. Only we can use it with date command.
For example, a local full month name.